Jeff. It's good to chat with you again this morning, my friend. Futures are down about 240 points. You know, you look at earnings and you do wonder how much are they going to ultimately move markets, given that everybody just wants to hear about guidance, not what has happened. What's your take?
No, you bring up a great point, Sully, and good morning. Yes, we are looking for guidance, but all these S&P 500 companies, which we do have 150 S&P 500 companies reporting this week, they're pulling guidance, and I get that. Due to the pandemic, they're really having a hard time providing visibility in the future. But I do have optimism from last week, the big tech earnings. We saw, if it's Microsoft, if it's Amazon, if it's Apple, some of these names, even Facebook, they gave a lot of stabilization comments about the month of April. That was kind of unexpected. So if you look at the S&P 500, Sully, basically from the last 3 weeks, we haven't moved. We've been pegged at 2,800. But I do get excited about the cross-section of earnings this week because I think it's going to give us more and more clarity, because that's the biggest component right now of investors lacking confidence and clarity, because it's very hard to measure what that Q2 earnings season will actually look like.
Like what? What names in particular are you watching? Because let's be honest, Jeff. I mean, some of the companies' numbers, I mean, it's like they say something. It's like, well, you don't know, and you're saying you have no visibility. What companies do matter to you?
Well, Disney matters a lot. I think you look at essential names, and a Disney name is an essential name. But we're also looking at PayPal. We're looking at GM. And look at CVS. CVS is an interesting name because it tangentially touches healthcare. So we're also looking at Hilton. Obviously, Hilton's been decimated. The whole leisure space and hospitality space has really suffered. So we'll be interested to hear from those sectors. But I think a name like Disney helps us better understand, because that's a name we want to own longer term, and I currently still own, Sully.
All right, I want to ask you about this, because this is probably one of the biggest pieces, if not the biggest piece of breaking business news over the weekend. I'm sure you saw, Jeff. Berkshire Hathaway Chairman Warren Buffett says he is out of all airline stocks, completely out. He has dumped a more than $4 billion position. Buffett telling shareholders at his virtual annual meeting over the weekend that the world, of course, has changed for the airlines. And I don't know if you looked at the airline stocks right now, Jeff. They are hurting. United, American, Delta, they're all down 8, 9, 10% right now on Buffett selling out. Any take to add to this? Is that the right move by Buffett? Would you be looking at some of these airlines on weakness? The CEO of Southwest Airlines, by the way, over the weekend saying it's safe to travel again. I'm not sure a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want to question the Oracle, but to be selling here actually in the hole is a little suspect. And I think American Airlines, United, Delta, pick your airline, Sully, they're all down over 60%, and now we're seeing even additional selling. So is this the bottom? Potentially, but the reopening of the economy and how that coincides with business travel, leisure travel, that's going to be really challenging. But we will see more and more in the month of May. So I do get somewhat optimistic. I own American Airlines. That's been a really tough slog, but this is a type of name that we will see recover. But the question is it going to be something similar to post 9/11? Is it going to be 2-3 years to get these airlines back? We don't know, but it is going to be interesting to see that the Oracle, let's remember the Oracle, his top 5 holdings, Sully, it's Apple, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, American Express, and Wells Fargo. So this $4 billion divestiture, if you will, not that big a deal on his balance sheet, because BRK.
Let me get personal very quickly to wrap up the segment on a Monday morning, Jeff. You fly every week, or you used to fly every week.
That's right.
When's the next flight you have booked right now?
Well, I'm hoping to get out in the end of May. I think that may be a little premature. We're probably not coming to the East Coast, but we'll probably go down south to Texas. We're excited to see some clients down in Austin, but I'm hoping to be on a flight at the end of this month, Sully.